It's time for the movie raid, and tonight's victim is Craig Fairbrass, actor, who played in many films, and including Call of Duty as far as voice acting goes. He played in Devil's Playground, for Queen and Country, and White Noise 2. What's up, Craig?
Three good films you mentioned there. Three good films. Currently, Devil's Playground is on Netflix, doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can check that out. For Queen and Country was my first job as an actor, opposite the one and only Denzel Washington, which was an amazing experience for me. And White Noise 2, being a genuine horror fan, was the film that I landed when I came back, when I went through a little bit of a hard time in Lowe's as an actor. Got off the plane and ended up doing that film. So, three films that are very, very dear to me, to say the least.
Yeah, I've noticed that you've been in tons of more other country films, like some are like from Canada and of course the UK. Which ones do you actually prefer? Do you actually prefer performing in the US? I mean, what's the real difference in your based on your experience?
Well, my dream as a young man was always to come to LA and work in independent film. That was always my dream.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, I came out when I was 29. After a very, very successful show called Prime Suspects that aired here and won a lot of awards, I came out and ended up licking a small role in Cliffhanger with Stallone, which was a huge, big deal for me. I was a young man, and next thing I turn around and I'm opposite one of my heroes. So, an iconic actor that I looked up to when I was a kid, queuing up to see Rocky and Rambo. And that was the magnetic draw and the seductiveness of coming to Los Angeles and keep coming back. Smaller budget films we do very, very well in London. We really make them very classy, very, they travel the world. Audiences love them. And I knew that my only way to get some prominence was to keep working like a dog, like a fucking dog, in the UK independent arena. Keep working, build some value, and then I started getting picked up to be put in American movies, the lower budgeted end, obviously not the studio picks, but the smaller independent films where they need a recognisable face for the film cover. How it works as a business.
Mm-hmm. You seem like an action man there, because you've been in quite a few more action related films.
Yeah, that was always. I'm a trained actor. I'm an actor first and foremost. But then someone said to me, "You know what? You're 6'3". You don't look bad.
Yeah, you look like a stuntman.
You can handle yourself, which will put you in a few action films."
Yeah, it's crazy.
So as I've got older, more so now, the age, the look I've got now, and I'm a much more grizzled and a much more character. It's paying off. I did a film called Rise of the Foot Soldier, one of the most successful, hard-hitting gangster movies ever made in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very uber-violent, brutal film. It's a true story, but it is in-your-face, fucking smash-it-to-death violence. Caused a lot of controversy in the UK, did great business here in the US, Grindstone picked it up, and it sort of catapulted me sort of in that level of film. So sort of then Devil's Playground, which as I said is now on Netflix, is sort of an action-y role, and then all of a sudden I've sort of carved out a little niche in the action. The thriller, crime thriller, action-y stuff. I've got a big film opening theatrically in London, in the UK, in September, called St George's Day, which is more of a big crime thriller, more like the bank job type of stuff. Drug dealers in London, shot in Amsterdam and Paris, and then Berlin, big heist robbery, so everything's panning out how I planned it. But I love America. I've always been in love with the States since I was a boy. I always dreamed of coming here, and America has been very, 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 very kind to me. So I'm very, very grateful for what's happened. So even though to a lot of people it may seem a small way, but to me it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's because in between American films and UK films, they are similar, but they're very different worlds. Compared to filmmaking in general, because UK, it could be either cheaper for the actor. They get money, but cheaper as far as making the film. But then in the US, it costs so much money, but yet the actors get almost nothing. And it's a big risk on the film itself because either the film could be really good or pan out real bad.
No, exactly. Yeah, it is, and here it's a business. It's there's a lot of work that gets done, a lot of films get made, and it's a very, very positive atmosphere. And I love the professionalism of the Yanks. They do it and they work hard and they work fast and they churn the films out. And I'm now making headway. I start my first lead in a big American action movie at the end of July called The Outsider, which is sort of fish out of water, London mercenary, kick-ass, brutal violence in Los Angeles. And that's just got the green light. They're out to offers now on some big actors. Brian Miller, who I met, I did a small part in a film called House of the Rising Sun, and we just clicked big time. And he just said, "Craig, listen, I love what you do. Let me write you something." And you know what? You fucking hear that a million times with people talking bollocks, bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You go, yeah. And I walked away, and I came back out to LA. He called me, said, "Listen, I want to chat with you. Let's sit down. I've got an idea." So I said, "Fucking hell, that's amazing. Do it." And he come back with this idea about this guy this military advisor, like minder, security guy in Afghanistan, gets a call that they found his daughter murdered in Los Angeles, and he has to fly out here, identify the body, and fly it back to London for the burial. When he comes to LA and goes to the morgue, it's not her, it's the girl that she shared an apartment with. So she's been taken somewhere in Los Angeles. So it's this story of this, fish out of water Cockney guy who's a bit tasty when it comes to fisticuffs and guns, doing his stuff in the States. And it's an opportunity for me, and I'm really, really excited. And I've been, as I said, waiting my life for this film, for this opportunity.
If you're from like the UK or something like that, it's just it can be very difficult, especially in the US. I mean, like I said, film it's almost a little bit like the whole band scenario. You gotta get that out there, and if someone looks at it, chances are you're gonna get picked up somewhere.
But you know more than anything. Fuck me, it's brutal out here. There's fucking 20 million geezers walking around bumping into each other. I mean, everyone you meet's a fucking actor. It's like, Jesus Christ, I can't tell you how hard it is in this town. So I remember coming here when I was a young man and having 3 or 4 auditions and nicking a job and thinking, fuck it, I've gone to Hollywood and got employed. There's a million geezers a week get off that plane and spend a lifetime here and get nothing. But that is the nature of the business. It is about tenacity. It is about dreaming in reality and, that driving force of just believing in yourself.
Yeah, I mean, even TV, going into TV, pretty much equally just as bad because it's just that the episodes itself takes so long to make compared to film. I mean, that could take, let's say a couple months and sometimes even longer than that. But with TV, it's like you got so much shit in between just to make this one episode or just to make these 5 episodes.
Yeah. I've done a couple of episodic stuff here, and it's fantastic to work on because it is, they know what they're doing. The guys are so professional. But no, it's a great business. I'm very, very grateful. I've been waiting a lifetime, and I've always worked. I've had a career, but to be here again, back here in LA, working is fucking. I can't tell you. I can't put it into words. It's an amazing time.
No.
I've got a few other films coming out. I've got Get Lucky, which is a big London thriller for Universal. That's coming out theatrically this year. I still love my horror stuff. I'm attached to a few things that I want to do. But it's like it's each day, each week, something new comes in, or they're hunting to get the finance for the film, and the more you do, I'm actually producing my own film at the moment, which is like a London thriller, like a revenge, point blank, one-man revenge story called It's a London Thing, set in Spain and London, about armed robberies and one man's hunt for his father's killer. Very, very dark and very, very violent. And I wrote it, so I wrote it for me.
So how do you think that's going to appeal to everybody? There's a lot of horror films, but they, the term torture porn, where it's just nonsense killing and there's like no real story.
Yeah, I don't like them films. I've got to be honest with you. I really don't. I worry about the people who watch them fucking films. I really do. it blows me away.
It's like
I'm
watching
more of a Jeepers Creepers type of horror guy. Do you know what I mean? I like a story. I've got to have a story.
Yeah, otherwise you're just watching our cartoon just chop each other's limbs off all day.
Yeah, I mean, who watches that shit, really? I mean, you've got to be some fucking lunatic. It just worries me what's going on in the world, and people just sit there watching gratuitous chopping up.
Yeah, there's several reasons. Like either one, they're trying to make a lot of money and just put so much gore in someone's face, or two, they just they like either the director or whoever's involved within the film just decided, let's put more gore. I love gore. Gore. It's like it's not appealing, man. There's a good time for gore. There's a specific area to put enough gore in there and to win a stop.
Yeah, but if you've got empathy, sympathy, whatever it is for a character that's in a certain situation that needs to do that, then you're on his side, and then it's different. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like
if there's that moment, it's like okay, the arms are coming up cool, and then if there's like an ocean of blood splurting all over the place, or something like Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, where the blood comes out of the elevator, something like that. But you seem like you're stepping away from the independent. Is that a little bit of more of a milestone for you? And I mean, not to say that you're giving it up or anything, but now that you're going to other major films.
Yeah, but I mean, they're all independently. These are all independent producers, companies.
Yeah.
They're not studio picks. You know what I mean? They're not. What can I say? They're not huge movies, but they're still.
Yeah, they still got that quality, but they got that independent touch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to work here. And each job I do, I try to do it the best as I possibly can. I've got a point of difference. I don't play American. I play me, and I'm just trying to sell my package.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And it works well in Modern Warfare. The Voice, I get 1,000 emails a day from fans all around the world going, I love your accent, I love what you're about, and I really, 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 it's so lovely to get that, because it makes you think that what you're doing is worthwhile.
You sold that.
It will be the same,
Yeah, I mean, it's in Call of Duty series that you voice, or not all of it, but like you voice Ghost and Romero and Gaz. You sold those characters. Everyone believes those characters. They want to play as that character. So you basically you sold it, man.
Yeah, and then the third one, I played a guy called Warcroft. It was a smaller role, but they wanted me to do it because it was all about the underground, the London Underground fighting. And it's been fantastic opportunity to be in one of the biggest selling, most successful, iconic games in the history of video games. I've done 3, and I'm more than grateful.
Yeah, how's that experience for you compared to actually being on the set? Is it a little bit of a relief for you that you can just say it through a microphone rather than acting it out?
It is as happens, because you just go in there in your flip-flops and your jeans, kick them off, and then just fucking sweat. It's like a brutal workout. You're just in that booth, locked in there for fucking 2 hours, screaming, incoming! It's great fun at the same time, I gave away, they invited me to the BAFTA Awards about a month ago, and it was one of the most nerve-wracking things I've ever done in my life. This huge, establishment. It's one of the most, what can I say? I mean, BAFTA. And they got these awards now for games, and they asked me to come and, give an award away. And I went out on the stage, and I just said my catchphrase, "Let's do this," and everyone went mad. It was fantastic.
Yeah, there's a lot of iconic lines from that, man. I mean,
yeah.
Don't call me Shirley.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's just something like that compared to the acting. That's another experience. But it seems like an underground thing when it comes to voice acting. It's there, but it seems like it's not as recognized as it should be.
No, exactly. Yeah. Even though when you think of the faces, the actors who were. Or the voices who were in the last couple of games. I mean, the Ed Harrises, the 50 Cents, the Barry Pepper. I mean, God, when you look at the actors that have been in that show voicing, they all clamber and line up to be in it because it's such an amazing game.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but you and your old friend Billy Murray has been in a couple of them.
Yeah, Bill's. I mean, I've got Bill a fucking job. He still owes me money on it. I say to him, "Where's my fucking 10% every time I see him?" We've done a couple of films together. We did Freight, but we did Rise of the Foot Soldier. And anyone out there, seriously, if you won't be disappointed, if you want dark, unbelievable story, true story, and these three guys who were murdered, these gangsters in Essex, is one of the most iconic, famous stories in the last, I don't know, in the last 20 years in London. It's like these guys were and they're now doing the full film about it, but Rise of the Foot Soldier has stayed the top of the tree. This is the one. This is the one that everybody goes, oh my God, because the guy who directed it, Julian Gilby, shot it in a visceral way, like a French thriller, where it's like in your face. I mean, literally. You go on the forums at IMDb, and I'm talking about, how disturbing some of the scenes are. There's a scene with me in a restaurant where I go berserk with a cleaver and a pizza cutter, and I won't say no more, but they got murdered, these guys, but they got murdered in a horrific way. So check it out. It's called Rise of the Foot Soldier and Devil's Playground. Anyone listening, two qualities. If you like zombies, Devil's Playground's fucking out there. But they're Brit films, and because they don't really get their true attention, because they're in such a big market in the US, they can sometimes get lost. So I'm just giving it, check them out.
So go ahead and plug in any other websites, especially your new stuff, and when we can check it out.
Yeah, I mean, if you want any information about me, what I'm up to, CraigFairbrass.com. That I'm on Facebook. I tweet. I've got a Twitter account. So if you want to keep up to speed with what I'm doing, there's lots going on. The Outsider is going to be kick-ass. A grown-up film, and the style of what I love about movies, everything that I love, for what turns me on when I watch a movie, I'm trying to push into these films now that I have a bit of clout and a bit of power, where I can sort of say, I want to do this and I want to do that, because I know, the films that I watch that I go, I'm fans of,
Yeah. Do you think television, the TV series, because it is booming at the moment, do you think it's actually going to be more popular in the future than actually watching films?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I feel terrible saying this, but most of the stuff I only watch is American gear. I was a massive 24 fan, a massive Sopranos fan. I love American TV is where it's at for me, I've got to be honest with you. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better and better.
Film has had quite a rough few years over the last few years, because you've seen there's tons of prequels. You've seen a whole lot of remakes, and
but the magic thing about film, which always drew me to it as a kid, is the fact that film's forever and TV is on and gone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in something that's quality of a movie, it's forever, literally.
Yep.
Which is great, and I look back on films. I go, it's a lifetime.
Yeah, because TV, it's like they cancel a show. Well, you'll really never see it again unless they, let's say like a couple months later, if there's demand for it, then they'll stick it on DVD.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But now it's with film, and now do you think it's kind of like a better balance for film now? Because it seems like now they're picking up more appealing films. Like they got more chick flicks, they got more drama, they got more action, sci-fi now.
They have, but the business is more brutal than it's ever been. I mean, to get a film out theatrically, is fucking impossible. There's so much product. Yeah. And because of the advent now of the DVD world contracting, and it's more about VOD, all the download stuff, the iTunes, and, but you need that theatrical platform for a film to be taken seriously to a degree.
Yeah.
Especially in the UK, more so here,
Yeah, it can be a good and bad thing, because now everything's going digital, everything's going online. You can just download it rather than just going out and buy the DVD and actually appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course you got pirators too. That's always going to happen. Regardless, you got music and film. That's always going to happen. You're never going to stop because it's going to be online.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So, but now they're finally releasing older films on the DVD, which is a great thing because at that time, let's say if it was like in the 80s and 70s and earlier, they pan the film saying, "Oh, this is bad. This is this," and then like almost 20 years later, it becomes a cult classic.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get demands, and of course, and now you get the whole excuse saying that it's for the younger generation.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, that may be, but also there still needs to be a decent product out there too for everybody, not just the younger generation.
No, but you know what? Quality always stands out. It really does.
Oh yeah, man.
You know, it does.
Yeah. Well, there you go, everybody. That is Craig Fairbrass, voice actor and actor, amongst many others. And you intend to release anything else other than the film that you're producing right now?
Well, no, I got another film after that we're developing now called Recon Hell, which is like sort of from the first-person shooter angle. It's all like an action horror set in London.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, I want to move more into producing. I really do. That's what excites me. Directing, I haven't got the patience, but the business side of things, I really like the producing. But you've got to make that first movie. You have to make it before you're taken seriously. So we're all guns blazing now on it's a London thing, you know. And yeah, we're pushing aggressively forward. We've got a chunk of money in place, and we're hoping to shoot it. Well, we will be shooting it in January. I've got a couple of other movies I'm going to be doing before then. So everything is very, very, very good, thank God.
Okay. You got any last words? Any advice for those back home?
Any advice for young actors?
Yeah.
Or anybody who's in the business? Yeah, just keep pushing, keep driving, keep believing. That's all you can do. Never let anyone, talk you down or turn you off or push you aside and say you can't do this. The more they do that, the more you use it. Because, as I said, I've got a career. I mean, I still look at the big giant movie stars myself and think, oh my God, what must it be like to be that big? But I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I'm actually doing what I set out to do. So anyone else who's got that same dream, it's fucking doable.
There you go, man. Craig Fairbrass.